Hello and welcome to the Formula One Retro League. I'm your host Thomas Wood, and today we are here for round 2 of 5 in the 2001 Formula One Retro League World Championship. We're here at the Interlagos Circuit for the Brazilian Grand Prix of 2001. 36 laps around here, 5 rounds, every lap counts. Let me take you through a couple circuit stats here. We've got 4.3 kilometers of this Interlagos circuit here in Sao Paulo. We're going to be running 36 laps, of course, half distance. The first Grand Prix here was in 1973. And then the lap record is somewhere within the 108s, I believe. Something around that. But we'll see when it comes to it. Of course, Juan Pablo Montoya won last time out here on his Formula One debut, just ahead of championship runner-up last year, Jacques Villeneuve, still looking for redemption from last year. Olivier Panis finished third. And then, of course, the reigning champion Michael Schumacher will be looking to get his first win of the season here. Whether he'll be able to do it will be decided in 36 laps and of course 18 minutes of qualifying is time. Of course, today's race is brought to you by Marlboro cigarettes. They're available in any local store near you. We're here for the Brazilian Grand Prix of 2001 in this F1 Retro League. And we've got 36 laps to come up. Let me run you through the drivers we have currently here, with around 3 minutes to go before qualifying starts. Of course, we have Michael Schumacher here. In fact, both Ferraris have turned up here. Both Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello looking for a good result for the Ferrari team to hopefully get their second Constructors' Championship. Of course, we also have, that is the Minardi of Fernando Alonso, second on the list there. We also have the Jaguar of Pedro Della Rosa. Of course, then we have that is the BAR of Jacques Villeneuve. We also have David Coulthard here, as well as Mika Hakkinen, both McLarens making their appearances here. We also have, if I can find the name on my sheet, Kimi Räikkönen's here, of course, in his, is it his third race? I can't remember, actually, how many races he's done. I know he did at least one in last season. That was his rookie year. And then he's done, obviously, one this season as well. First race of the season. 1 of 5. We also have both Jordans in attendance here, both Heinz Harald Frentzen and Jarno Trulli. Hopefully none of them will be having skill issues today. Then we have the Williams of Juan Pablo Montoya. He is there as well. Of course, he won last time out in Albert Park, looking to pick up his second win in his second ever race. And then finally at the bottom there, we have the BAR of Olivier Panis. Both BARs turning up for this race. We're about 1 minute away from qualifying starting. This is sure to be an incredible race. The weather forecast for this weekend is as follows. Qualifying is going to be dry, as is the start of the race, but towards the end we might see some rain. So be prepared for some strategies, differences between the teams. Of course, here in the F1 Retro League, we do have to make 2 stops mandatory in the league. So that could cause many different strategies. We could see people trying to hold out over after one stop to try and get to that wet period. Or maybe people will make 2 fast stops and then switch to the wet tyres, giving them an advantage there. Who knows? We'll have to see. This is sure to be an exciting race, and it always is at Interlagos. Brazilian Grand Prix, one of the highlights of the calendar. It's great that we have it here on the grid for this 5-race season. The motto being, every lap counts. As we probably only have, 200 laps over the whole year, maybe even less. So we'll have to see how that turns out. Can Michael Schumacher claim his 4th driver's trophy, 2nd for Ferrari? We see the drivers readying up now. Can Villeneuve claim his 2nd redemption for last time out? Or can Juan Pablo Montoya win the championship on his Formula 1 debut? We're just about to go to qualifying here. This is the F1 Retro League. Okay, qualifying is underway for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Have no drivers currently out on track. Of course, one 18-minute session here in this season. In fact, probably for every season until we switch to the new F1 23 game. But I have no idea what I'm on about because this is 2001. So why would we be talking about 22 years in the future? Anyway, we're just waiting for some action out on track. And important to note, a late entry there. Just got in before the end. That is... I swear I saw someone come in late. I don't see any differences there. Maybe I was wrong. Anyway. Still have 11 drivers here, which is better than it could be. You see that is the McLaren of David Coulthard coming out on track here. Sorry for that quick interruption there. Just making sure our sound coverage is as optimal as it can be. Anyway, we're seeing David Coulthard on his outlap. Coming through, I don't remember the corner names here. Sorry about that. But I can refer to them by their turn names, of course. There's 15 turns around here. Some of the most famous corners in all of motorsport, of course, the Senna chicane. The straight down the Peraltada. Into the Peraltada corner, of course. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. Anyway. We are here. David Coulthard is on his flying lap now. We have a number of drivers on their outlap. There's one of the, I think that's the BAR on the right side of the track there. There you can see it in behind. But David Coulthard is on his flying lap. Perhaps running a little bit wide there through turn 4. But he's just coming down into sector 2 now. Can he get this complex nailed? Hits the apex very nicely there. Goes out wide for the left-hander. Want to swoop back in. Maybe not getting the best exit he could have. We're coming into Bico de Pato now, as I remember the corner name finally. Round this sweeping left-hander, easily flatten these cars. Brake for the final braking zone on the circuit. Most important to get a good exit out of there, as it is a long run down into turn 1. We'll see what speeds we'll be reaching here. It looks like we'll be reaching, as we see, that was about 190 miles an hour I think I saw on the dash there. But anyway, David Coulthard has set a bank lap of a 1 minute 9.1. We have predicted times here of about a 1 minute 8. That's the theoretical limit of drivers today. But who knows, maybe someone will be able to beat that. As there's a yellow flag in Sector 2, and that is Kimi Raikkonen. He's just gone on provisional pole position. I mean, he set a 1 minute 8.2 almost, 1 minute 8.1. Michael Schumacher's also there. He set a 1 minute 8.4. So we've got some bank laps set down already. 14 minutes to go in the session. We're seeing that was a Juan Pablo Montoya there. He set a 1 minute 8.2. With the driver coming across the line, that's Pedro De La Rosa, 1 minute 8.6. Heinz-Harald Frentzen crosses the line. He sets a time. Sorry, no, Jarno Trulli comes across the line. He sets a lap time of 1 minute 11.4. We're watching Jacques Villeneuve now on his flying lap. Coming down the straight. Can he put it on pole position? No. I think he was doing an extra outlap there. That his time is not representative of his pace that we have seen in previous seasons. But the only other driver on a flying lap right now is Rubens Barrichello. He's just coming around into the final braking zone right now. Down this long straight here, and he's pitting. So Rubens Barrichello aborting that attempt there. We're following Jacques Villeneuve now, as he's probably on his flying lap here. Into Vico de Pato, turn 10 on this track. Lots of famous turn 10s around the world, but this, I'd argue, is the most famous. Anyway, coming down into the final braking zone. Looks to have got that absolutely spot on. Runs out wide on exit, just about. He's allowed to do that. That camera shot there, just showing you how fast these cars are. But Villeneuve's coming into the pit lane, so that was not his flying lap. Had to brake very late there, locking up the fronts just to get it stopped to avoid a penalty for speeding. But anyway, Kimi Raikkonen currently on pole position here. I mean, he's just coming into the pit lane now. But Kimi Raikkonen, I don't actually know how many races he has done. But Raikkonen on provisional pole position by just under a tenth of a second is very impressive from the Finnish driver. Of course, very young here. Some question whether he will be ready for Formula 1. But he is there. As we're seeing now, this is Juan Pablo Montoya on his outlap. And he just come out the pits, presumably for his second banker lap, before another one at the end of the session. And just coming around into turn, I believe it's 6. Sorry, it's turn 7. 8 even, as that long right-hander is a double apex corner, and therefore 2 corners apparently. Anyway, that is someone out of the session there. I believe it's Fernando Alonso out of the session. I believe he did have a qualifying ban, so that makes sense for him to do that. But anyway, he'll be starting from the back of the grid, presuming Rubens Barrichello is able to set a lap time. We see Juan Pablo Montoya using all the track there just to get started on his flying lap. Coming into turn 1 here, gets wide on the entry. Switching back for turn 2 into the Curva de Sol. And to hug the inside there just until the exit. Team come down this long straight here into turn 4. Because it hooked up beautifully. Perhaps not quite as wide on the exit as he could have been. But nevertheless, a good exit anyway. Coming into this very tricky complex here. Very fast right-hander into a right-hand hairpin. Right to the edge there. I'm not sure if that was legal or whether he cut the track there. But anyway, nevertheless, he's going to continue this lap. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1 and 2. I'm not sure what that's for. Just have a look. Don't see any issues for anyone. But there are 2 drivers out the session, so maybe that's what that's for. But anyway, he is continuing on his lap. Down the back straight, using all the road once again on the final corner there. Not much of a corner, but he does set a... He goes into pole position with a 1 minute 8.165, beating out Kimi Räikkönen by about 0.03 of a second. That's how close the margins are in this qualifying session. There's a stray wheel on track there. I'm assuming that is due to the crash between Jacques Villeneuve and Jarno Trulli. Quite odd. Anyway, hopefully Marshall will be able to recover that. We're now going to follow Michael Schumacher here. Don't know whether he is on a flying lap or not. Looks like he is carrying a lot of speed through that corner. There's a straight Jaguar on the right hand side of the track there. That was Pedro Della Rosa, the only Jaguar here. Of course, Eddie Irvine is not here today, was not able to make it. But no worries, hopefully he'll be back for next race. Anyway, Michael Schumacher coming down through the second sector now. This very tricky second sector. The slowest sector on the circuit, of course. Sectors 1 and 3 are characterised by their long straights. A yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. I'm not quite sure what that is for. But anyway, we're watching Rubens Barrichello, and we're watching Michael Schumacher coming down the main straight now. He's going to come across the line, and it is an improvement up to third place, 1 minute 8.237, 2 tenths exactly ahead of Pedro Della Rosa, who I think is just starting his lap now. Of course, we saw him on the right-hand side of the track just earlier on in Michael Schumacher's lap. But it is the Jaguar's turn for a flyer. Coming down into turn 4. Very good opportunity. I'll start again. Very good overtaking opportunity down there into turn 4. Long straight, of course, but no DRS, of course, in the F1 Retro League. So it'll be a little bit more of a challenge than it is usually. But anyway, sure, the racing will be great. And the drivers will be ever desperate to gain positions, because with this very short 5-round calendar, the shortest ever in F1 history. Of course, this slogan for this season: every race counts. I think that was Rubens Barrichello sorry, it was Michael Schumacher's off the track there. Did he spin coming into turn 11? I wonder. Anyway, he's probably going to pit this lap. He is. So this is Rubens Barrichello on a lap now. Also, Heitald Frentzen is on a lap. So we'll be following both of their laps as they develop. As that was a Frentzen going wide there at the exit of turn 11. And Barrichello just coming into the pits now. Presumably he was on an in-lap just before that. We're seeing here, this is Heitald Frentzen coming down to the line. I'm assuming his lap there before was invalidated, as it is not registered on our timing screens. Presumably that was from the off at turn 11. But anyway, he'll have another chance there. But once again, I think he's gone off track. So, Frentzen not yet able to set a representative lap. Of course, his teammate Jarno Trulli is out of qualifying after a collision with Jacques Villeneuve, I'm presuming. Of course, we didn't get to see that on camera. But maybe we'll have a replay on board after the race. But nevertheless, Frentzen is the only car out on track right now. Watching him come through Bico de Pato now. I'm not sure whether he's on an out lap whether he's on an in lap or a flyer. But nevertheless, we're going to follow him to the end. As we see, that's Olivier Panis is now on an out lap. We'll jump to him. Coming through turn 5 here, we catch him. Olivier Panis. He scored a podium last race, of course, at the Australian Grand Prix. And will be looking to continue that form for BAR as they continue their Constructors' Championship hopes. Of course, they lost out to Ferrari last year in what was only their second season of competition. This BAR team was formed in 1999. So they've risen to the top quite quickly. But anyway, we're following not Jarno, truly. That's Olivier Panis on his just starting his flying lap now. Coming into turn 1. Can he get it hooked up? He gets it hooked up very well on the curb there. Darts back to turn 2 through the Curva de Sol now. Coming down this long straight into turn 4. Braking at the 100 board or thereabouts. I think he went a little bit wide there at the exit at turn 4, but that should be fine. Coming into this very tricky complex here. Can he get it hooked up nicely? He can. Braking just for this hairpin now. I'm not sure whether that was legal, but it looked okay from my perspective. Coming down into Bico de Pato now. Turn 10 on this track. Gets it stopped nicely, hooked in. No understeer on the turn in. Coming down into the final sector now. Most important corner on the track, arguably. And he gets it very nicely there. Coming down the main straight. Through the final corner. Not much of a corner, but it is a corner listed on the maps. And he crosses the line, does not improve on his time. Whether it was just slower or whether he invalidated his lap is not confirmed. But anyway, we have a number of drivers on both out and flying laps now. Rubens Barrichello coming onto a flyer now. He'll be looking to improve his time, hopefully get up there with the top positions. Coming through turn 1 now. Gets it nicely done there. Don't see any major issues with that first couple of corners. Into turn 4 now. Braking quite late there. Able to get it stopped for the apex though into turn 5. Easily flat through that corner. Switch back to the left hand side of the track for this tricky middle sector portion of the track. Running out very wide there, but legal looks like it. Into this hairpinny section now. All good through there, gets it rotated very nicely. Perhaps a tiny bit of understeer there through turn 10. Going through this long left-hander now. Into the final corner. Not right in the curb as much as he could have done, but he gets a good exit anyway. Coming down to the line. Watch to see if Rubens Barrichello can improve on his time. And he won't because he dives into the pit lane. And that is his qualifying over for the day. There's De La Rosa stopped on track there. Not sure why that is. Presumably he's letting Juan Pablo Montoya past. Maybe wanting to get a bit of a slipstream off of him. Of course, with no DRS, slipstream is very powerful around here. As we're watching Michael Schumacher come round on a flying lap now. Just coming towards the end of it. Can he improve on his time? He can't. He stays where he is. Watching Juan Pablo Montoya come around to the end of his flying lap now. Or whether he's starting a flying lap, I don't know. But anyway, as he comes down to the line, he has improved on his time just there, so presumably he is starting his final flying lap. Of course, he won't have time to start another one now. All the top 4 are on a flying lap, or at least not an out lap. Here, presumably it's a flying lap because they probably won't have time to start a new lap. Juan Pablo Montoya just coming down into Sector 2 now. Gets it hooked up very nicely through the long right-hander. Into the hairpin. Very good through there. As the checkered flag falls on qualifying. The bottom, everyone except for the bottom 5 is locked in now. Michael Schumacher cannot prove on his time, so he'll start 3rd at best. But we're following Juan Pablo Montoya here. Comes down into sector 3. Very fast through that final proper corner. That was turn 12 or 15. There are 3 corners there on that bit of the track. Using all the road. Can Juan Pablo Montoya improve on his time? No, he can't. The only driver left is Kimi Räikkönen. Can he improve? Can he get pole position here, or will he remain on the front row? Either way, it's going to be a good result for the Sauber team. But coming down to the line, where will Kimi Räikkönen qualify? Is that pole position for Kimi Räikkönen? It is. Kimi Räikkönen on pole position for the 2001 Brazilian Grand Prix. Very, very impressive from the Finnish youngster there. Beating out on Juan Pablo Montoya by 25 thousandths of a second. I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that. Juan Pablo Montoya will start alongside him on the front row. Michael Schumacher only able to muster 3rd in the end. He did improve on his time right at the end, but was only able to get 3rd. Pedro de la Rosa will start on the 2nd row alongside the Ferrari. Then comes the BAR of Olivier Panis. Rubens Barrichello lines up 6th. Then it will be David Coulthard. Then the 2 Jordans, Trulli able to beat... Sorry, no. Frentzen able to... No. Trulli able to beat Frentzen, excuse me. Then it is Jacques Villeneuve. And... not Mika Häkkinen. Fernando Alonso is last on the grid after a qualifying ban. Carrying over from that 2000 season. His driver made... Anyway... We're just about to get underway here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. This race, of course, is brought to you by Marlboro Cigarettes, available in any local store near you. As we're just about to get underway here. Got 4 lights, 5 lights. 2001 Brazilian Grand Prix. The lights are off and the race is on here. In Brazil, sorry. Michael Schumacher off to a good start there. And he takes the lead on lap 1. All the cars ghosted for some reason. But anyway, Michael Schumacher leads from that is Kimi Räikkönen. So Michael Schumacher with a good start. Juan Pablo Montoya has had a collision at the start. There's a massive crash at the back there. There's a Jordan involved in the Williams. And that's Rubens Barrichello there as well. That is not ideal for any of their races. And there's a Jordan without a front wing. There's battling on here as well. That's Trulli spun off. And he's made contact with Jacques Villeneuve. Chaos here at the start. So it's Michael Schumacher who leads from Kimi Räikkönen and David Coulthard. Then it's Olivier Panis who is behind David Coulthard there. Then comes Fernando Alonso. Jacques Villeneuve is next. Then Juan Pablo Montoya after a collision right at the start. De La Rosa is next. Then it is Jarno Trulli. Sorry, Heinz-Harald Frentzen is next. Then it is Barrichello and Frentzen, who with wing damage. Ignore that pit stop strategy thing at the bottom. I have no idea what AWS is, but they need to improve on their strategies because you can't make a 1 stop. 2 mandatory stops here, of course. But there's battling going on at the front. It is between Panis and David Coulthard, with Alonso waiting in the wings. Who can get on top here? The BAR or the McLaren? Panis with the outside line has to concede to Coulthard, and Alonso's managed to get up the inside as well there. And his teammates also passed him, Jacques Villeneuve there as well. So Panis down like 3 places in the space of a couple corners. Not ideal for his race. There's still battling going on at the front between Schumacher and Räikkönen. The young star and the proven champion going wheel to wheel here in Brazil. This has been an incredible race so far. It's only been 2 laps. We've got 34 more to go, so strap in. And Raikkonen switching to the outside. I think there was a little bit of contact between the 2 drivers, but it's Raikkonen up into the lead now. Schumacher has to concede to second, but that does mean he'll have the slipstream down this straight. Not able to get past right now. Raikkonen is streaking away here, but there is battling on at the back here, or near the back, not near the back, for 3rd place between David Coulthard and Fernando Alonso. Alonso chasing him down here in that very beautiful Minardi car. Can he get past? He's also got Jacques Villeneuve waiting behind him, a very quick Jacques Villeneuve. Will be trying to get past both of these drivers and challenge for the top positions very soon. As, oh dear, that's Jarno Trulli. He's already got a penalty for track limits. Not ideal for his race. Heinz Frentzen had to make a pit stop, I noticed. I wonder if that's for wing damage for whatever reason. But here comes Alonso now. As there's also battling going out the front. Raikkonen being challenged by Michael Schumacher once again. There's contact between the 2. Schumacher is very close here to Raikkonen. Which way is Schumacher going to go? He cuts to the inside. Can he brake later? No, he can't. Has to wait in second just for now. Could he make a move down into turn 6? Surely not. He won't do that. And he doesn't, as Raikkonen was too far ahead. But anyway, behind them there, Coulthard was able to stay ahead of McLaren, ahead of the Alonso. Sorry, I'm mixing up my words here. I'm a bit rusty with commentary. Do excuse me. I'll get better as we move on through the race. Jacques Villeneuve also had to stay behind Fernando Alonso just for now. And Olivier Panis is also behind him. As we'll cut back to the front now as Michael Schumacher with that superior Ferrari engine. Of course, Sauber also has a Ferrari engine, but of course, Ferrari do get priority with their upgrades. They are a works team, of course. Sauber a customer. And with rebranded Petronas engines, Michael Schumacher is not able to get past just for now. Coming down the straight here that I forgot the name of. I called it the Peraltada area. Excuse me, that is the Mexico track. That has that corner. It's not a straight. I can't remember the name. But anyway, at the front there, Alonso's got past Coulthard now. And then there's a 4-car battle going on here. There's spun. Coulthard has spun and he's hit Olivier Panis, I think. Sorry, he's hit Jacques Villeneuve. So Villeneuve, not ideal race so far. Neither is it for Coulthard now, as he's down in 8th place, out of the points. Does promote Pedro de la Rosa up into the points-paying positions, though, along with Juan Pablo Montoya. But at the front, Michael Schumacher once again chasing down Kimi Raikkonen. Can he make a move into turn 1 this time around? Doesn't look close enough. Have to wait until turn 4 for a potential opportunity for an overtake. There's battling going on for 5th place now, I think, between the Williams here of Montoya and De La Rosa. The Williams just staying ahead for now. But it looks like the De La Rosa has the superior Cosworth engine. Going to go down the inside of Montoya. They're wheel to wheel here through turn 4. Montoya goes wide. Does that let De La Rosa through? Yes, it does. Montoya down to 6th. Can he make a move into turn 6? No, he doesn't. So De La Rosa up to 5th now. Oh, but Montoya's outbraked himself and he's managed to get past De La Rosa there. And there's contact between the 2. More contact again in this race. De La Rosa is spun round there. And he's down in 8th position now. Not ideal for his race. The stewards will have to have a look at that, I think, between Montoya and De La Rosa. Of course, stewards will be quite busy. I've had numerous incidents this race. Yeah, Schumacher once again not able to get past Kimi Räikkönen into turn 1. Will he have the overspeed though into turn 4? I don't think he will. He looks a little bit too far back from here. So he'll have to bide his time for another couple laps. 30 laps to go in this race of the Brazilian Grand Prix. But he needs to get a move on quickly. Every lap counts in this 5-round season. As that was a Jordan picking up another penalty. That is Heitzel Frentzen this time for track limits violations. Not been a great day for Jordan, currently running down in 10th and 11th. So, not great for them. And we're watching this battle here between De La Rosa and Coulthard. De La Rosa chasing down the McLaren driver. But there's more battling going on at the front. It looks like the Ferrari's got extra engine power to use this time around. Getting down into turn 1, can they make it? There's been yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. I'm not sure what that is for. Have to wait for you. It's Barrichello spinning is what it is. Oh dear. Not ideal for his race. Also, De La Rosa's picked up a penalty for track limits. But he is still chasing down Ricciardo. He's going all over the back of him there. Has to concede to Coulthard just for now. But he does have a race ahead of him to do it. Get past Coulthard, maybe get up into the points. It's a possibility for him. Or De La Rosa. Of course, we've got 2 pit stops to make. He's almost nose to tail there. Almost pushing David Coulthard along down into turn 6. Not sure why he's doing that. But anyway, coming back to the front, there's lap cars ahead. As they're lapping now, I think that is Jarno Trulli. And like I said earlier, not a great day for Jordan, already a lap down on the field. Has to make way for the cars. So Trulli's gone very wide at the first turn there, resets to the track. As I think De La Rosa has got past David Coulthard now. That is good for him, but Coulthard's going to fight back here into turn 4. Trying to go round the outside. Can he make it stick? I think he has to give the place back there. Trulli's picked up another penalty, but there's wheel-to-wheel fighting here between the McLaren and the Jaguar. British and American outfits, of course, Jaguar owned by Ford. The British one winning the battle, but the war is yet to be over. Can De La Rosa get back at him here into the hairpin? Thinks better of it just for now. Might have a better opportunity down into the straight. As I've noticed that Michael Schumacher is very close to the back of Kimi Räikkönen now. Got 27 laps left to go in this race. Coming down this second straight here. Anyway, Michael Schumacher having to concede to Kimi Räikkönen just for now. Maybe he'll be able to get him back in the corners. Sorry, in the pit stops, is what I meant to say, as that is Jarno Trulli. He's out of the session. Oh dear. Not ideal for Jordan Honda. That was a lovely camera shot there, just noticed. Michael Schumacher at the top of the hill. Rubens Barrichello down at the bottom. Perhaps a little bit of a sorry sight to see. But anyway, Michael Schumacher's all over the back of Kimi Räikkönen now. He's got the overspeed on him. Can Schumacher get past here, the reigning world champion, chasing down the young superstar? As we see Frentzen getting a penalty. Räikkönen's gone wide through turn 1. This is allowed to get Michael Schumacher to get very close here. But the Sauber just able to pull away there through turn 3, the Curva de Sol. Can Schumacher make a move into turn 4? Thinks better of it just for now. Was a little bit too far back, maybe. Can he make a move into turn 6? Surely he won't. And he doesn't. Coming down into sector 2 now. Very tricky, tight and twisty sector 2. No moves to be had here. But of course there is another battle raging on between Coulthard and De La Rosa now. De La Rosa all over the back of the McLaren, almost pushing him along again there. Could he make a move into this hairpin? Thinks better of it just for now. So Coulthard just managing to stay ahead of the Jaguar. ...26 laps to go. They're almost nose to tail coming down the straight here. This is the battle at the lead now. Can Schumacher make a move into turn 1? He's too far back just for now. But he does get a very good exit. Can he make a move as this Juan Pablo Montoya's pit from position 5? He's making his first of 2 mandatory pit stops. I'm presuming he'll want to go onto the hard tyres from here. Maybe make it to that rain period at the end of the race that is forecast. Maybe this will be a sign for the leaders as well, that maybe it is time to move off those medium tyres and get onto the hards. Or maybe another set of mediums. Could they possibly make it to the rain period? We'll just have to wait and see on that one. But anyway, I think Michael Schumacher's been saving up some of his extra engine power just for this straight here. We're seeing gaining it very slightly through. Excuse me there. Gaining very slightly. Perhaps he's actually losing time to Kimi Räikkönen. Perhaps he's saving it for a run down into turn 4. That would be a very wise choice from him. We're going to ride on board with Schumacher now. He's got almost no engine power to use. Looking on the dashboard there. So maybe he'll have to save a bit up. As you see, that is Olivier Panis both getting a penalty. And also De La Rosa is now pit from P7. So that's yet another indication to this lead pack here that it is time to get off those medium tyres. Looking to De La Rosa now. He's onto another set of mediums. So maybe he is able to make it to the end. Also look at Juan Pablo Montoya. And you see that is David Coulthard getting a penalty for track limits. But Juan Pablo Montoya also on mediums. So it looks like the mediums, medium, soft would be the strategy of use here if we were running a completely dry race. But there is rain forecast for the end. You can see the clouds looming over the circuit. Just waiting for the heavens to open. It won't happen just yet as it's forecast for the end of the race. We're not even halfway into it yet. But we see Coulthard has pit now. Sorry, no, not Coulthard. Alonso has pit now from P3. We'll have to see what tyres he goes on to here. Another set of mediums. So that looks like to be the preferred strategy. So that is the leaders now lapping Heizhou Frentzen, the sole Jordan left in the race, of course. Jarno Trulli is out of the race after some issues. I won't say what type. I can hazard a guess at it, but that would not be very kind towards him. Anyway, Schumacher, is he saving his engine power for the straight? It looks like he is. But a little bit more. But Räikkönen has more to use than... Räikkönen has more engine power to use than Schumacher does. But Schumacher is deploying it down here. And Räikkönen saving it for the second straight, coming down into turn 4. And that is Frentzen picking up yet another penalty for track limits violations. Not ideal for his races. There's many people pitting now. That is Olivier Panis, Jacques Villeneuve, and David Coulthard. They're all going onto a fresh set of medium tyres. definitely looking like the preferred strategy here. But maybe one of the leaders will want to switch up a little to try and get the edge over the other. But we'll have to wait and see for that one, as De La Rosa set the fastest lap there. Impressive in the Jaguar. I'm sure it will get beaten later on as the drivers use up all their fuel. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1 now. Just confirm what that is for. I don't see any issues on track. Just Coulthard coming out of the pit lane. But anyway, Michael Schumacher yet again chasing down Kimi Räikkönen. They're both going to pit now, though. It's a pit stop battle between the Sauber and the Ferrari crews. Which of them will come out on top? We'll have to wait and see. Also be important to note whether they'll get out ahead of Fernando Alonso. See Räikkönen switching onto mediums. Schumacher's also on the mediums. Räikkönen just able to get ahead there of the Ferrari, but I think the gap has closed a little bit. So I think that's good for Michael Schumacher. And they're both able to get out ahead of Fernando Alonso, currently running in an impressive third. I'm not sure if he's pit yet, though. Frentzen, yet another penalty for him. He might be needing disqualification if he keeps up at this rate, and would not be ideal for him. But nevertheless, Räikkönen has actually gained time here on Michael Schumacher, so the Sauber mechanics doing very well for the young Finn. But of course, Ferrari with a big team, and with all the budget, looking to challenge for a championship. Sauber, perhaps not with those lofty aspirations, perhaps looking to get a race win, maybe even maybe more realistically a podium here. But we'll have to wait and see as the 21 laps remaining how they pan out. So the running order right now is Räikkönen currently leads from Michael Schumacher. Fernando Alonso currently sitting in third, but I don't think he has made his stop yet. Made one of his 2 stops yet. Olivier Panis currently sits in fourth for the BAR team. Juan Pablo Montoya running in fifth in his second ever Formula 1 race, as Olivier Panis just sets the fastest lap there. De La Rosa is in sixth, running last of the points paying positions. And David Coulthard currently in seventh, being hounded by Jacques Villeneuve here. Villeneuve going to the outside of Coulthard, and he is passed very quickly there by the BAR. So Villeneuve up to 7th, David Coulthard down to 8th. 9th currently is Rubens Barrichello. Not been a great day for him. To be fair, it's not been a great day for many of the drivers here. Many drivers were involved in that first lap tangle between many different drivers, in unrelated incidents, in fact. Juan Pablo Montoya suffered a problem at the first corner. Then there was a big crash between the Jordans and a Jaguar and a BAR, I think, at this turn 4 we just went through there. And in last place, of course, is said Jordan Heinz Harald Frentzen, with many penalties to his name. I'm not sure if that's an issue of the car or an issue with the driver, but I'll give the driver credit and assume it is the car that is hard to drive, but hard to know till we get confirmation from him. Maybe we'll hear from him in the post-race interviews. We'll just wait and see for that. But currently we're focusing on this battle at the front, the closest battle on track between drivers, between the leaders of Räikkönen and Schumacher. We're about halfway through this race. A lot more action to come. Of course, rain forecast for the end of the race. So things are yet to play out. There are stories yet to unfold. And in this 5-round season of F1, the shortest ever season of Formula 1, and every lap counts, of course. Every lap needs to be perfect. One lap that isn't perfect is that of Frentzen, picking up yet another penalty for track limits violations. Not great, but anyway, he is not near the front of the track anyway. The battle for the lead has calmed down a little bit since before the pit stops. As we see, that was Kimi Räikkönen just hitting the fastest lap of the race there. Good to see Sauber fighting at the front, of course. The Swiss outfit, joined in 1993. One of the few privateers to last that long. And the other, of course, being Jordan, who joined in 1991. Some of the last privateers on the F1 grid. Actually, that's Coulthard getting a penalty there for track limits violations. Yet another one. Not great for him, but anyway. And now he's out of the session, so not ideal for his race. We see that is Frentzen getting lapped, I think, once again. I don't know if he's pit yet or whether he's getting lapped for a second time. But anyway, moving back to this battle for the lead, it's getting a little bit closer between Schumacher and Raikkonen, not as close as it was before the pit stops. But anyway, the action has calmed down a little bit here, but there is yet still action to come, of course. 17 laps to go. Let's talk about Fernando Alonso just for now. He made a replacement step-in drive at Sauber last year, where Kimi Raikkonen is now. He scored a podium, I believe, last race out in... Not last race, or a couple of races ago in Japan last year. And was impressive from the rookie. And now he's currently running in yet another podium position for the Minnows of Minardi, the perennial backmarkers of the F1 grid. Perhaps not anymore, as we're seeing him be in third position here. Very impressive from the driver, especially after his qualifying ban that he picked up last year. That was his driver, of course, not the roleplay driver. But anyway, let's pretend we're in universe once again. Battle once again has calmed down between the leaders. Let's hope it gets a little bit closer towards the end of the race, of course, in rain. Finnish drivers are known for their supreme car control in the wet, of course. Finland is a very rural country, a lot of snow there. Drivers have to know how to drive a car if they want to. They have to know how to drive a car very well if they want to be allowed to drive a car. So that gives Finns, I won't say an advantage, but it certainly helps them along their way in motorsport. But nevertheless, Schumacher, of course, is a proven talent. He's a 3-time world champion. 2 times with Benetton, and 1 time as the reigning world champion now for Ferrari. He's achieved his dream, but could he go for more? If I check the standings as it is right now, Michael Schumacher would be on 12... No, sorry, not 12 points. He will be on 8 points. Raikkonen would be on 10. And Fernando Alonso would be on 4 points, I believe. Then it will be 3 points for Olivier Panis, putting him on 7. It would be 2 points for Juan Pablo Montoya, putting him on 10, and putting him on 12 and still in the championship lead. And 1 point for Della Rosa, putting him on 2. Still last of the points scoring drivers, I believe. But anyway, still got a number of laps yet to play out in this race, so that could all change. So we'll have to wait and see for that one. None of the drivers making their second stop yet. Presumably they're all holding out for the rain towards the end of the race that is forecast. Only light rain though, so perhaps it might not even make it to intermediate conditions. But we'll just have to wait and see for that one. But been quite good race so far. Calmed down just now, but I'm sure there's going to be action towards the end. Let's just talk about Juan Pablo Montoya for a bit. He's been known over in the American racing scene for quite a number of years now. He's burst onto the F1 scene with a win on his Formula 1 debut last time out in Australia. and now he's currently running in 5th position after a crash at the start. But still very impressive from the rookie, even if he does have past racing experience in higher levels of motorsport. Still impressive to come up here with the best of both European and American and Asian racers, in fact, and even Australian, all around the world we come from. Of course, the FIA Formula 1 World Championship here. So Juan Pablo Montoya able to make a very good impression in his first year of motorsport. Be a very viable candidate for Rookie of the Year. We're just going to cut back to the front battle now. There's a yellow flag between Sector 2 and 3, actually, we'll check that. That is David Coulthard, he's gone off the track. Not ideal for his race. He was already running out of the points paying positions anyway. But still not great for him. But back to the lead again. Kimi Räikkönen still leads from Michael Schumacher. And we've got 13 laps to go. I wonder when this rain's going to start. I'm assuming that is what all the drivers are waiting for. Just waiting for this rain to come. So they can get off those medium tyres and maybe either onto a set of softs to go to the end. Or maybe some intermediates if the rain does get hard enough for those tyres. But we'll just have to wait and see on that one. As Schumacher has now closed up to Kimi Räikkönen by a couple of tenths. He's now within a second, just about. He doesn't have a lot of engine power left to use, though, however. Just checking these things here. Oh, that's quite useful. Let's use that one. Sorry, it's me getting distracted there. Just able to see people's how many stops people have done. Everyone has done one pit stop on this race so far. Of course, 2 mandatorized pit stops here in the F1 Retro League. You'll be able to see that in all our past, not all of our past races, but all the past races that are available on our YouTube at F1-Retro League for that. Got full races up there, and we're planning to add highlights later on down the line. But we're just focusing on this race for now. Schumacher just able to stay within about one second of Kimi Räikkönen. No DRS, of course, to help him in this race. Of course, we're in 2001. DRS was not invented for another 10 years. So we're just waiting for the rain to fall and the action to start. Can't wait here. As there's a very handy graphic for you, tyre performance. Not sure what this AWS thing is at the bottom, but that graphic certainly is very helpful. Shows us that Alonso, for some reason, has better tyres than Schumacher. I'm not sure why it's showing us that battle. Maybe this graphic wasn't so helpful in the end. But anyway, we're seeing at the bottom there, that's Frentzen. He's making a second stop. Interesting to see what tyres he's gone onto. He's onto intermediates. I don't see any rain falling on the track yet, so I'm not sure why that would be. I don't quite see any rain on the track, or nor on the cars. So that is Frentzen taking a very, very big risk here. Anyway, back to the front here. Schumacher is just closing ever so slowly on Kimi Räikkönen. 10 laps to go in this race. Just have to wait till the end for all this action to play out. Yeah. Now let's take a moment to appreciate Olivier Panis now. He's running in 4th place. Very impressive result. Of course, he did score a podium last time out in Australia. Hopefully this is going to help BAR's constructors' chances. Of course, Villeneuve currently running outside the points. So good for their race. Anyway, back to the front. Schumacher still just about gaining on Kimi Räikkönen. As I think I see a couple drops of rain now. Yeah, it is raining here in Brazil. The question now is, when are the drivers going to pull the trigger? When are the drivers going to switch to intermediates? If they are even going to switch to intermediates at all. It is raining here in Brazil. So this is where the fun starts to begin now. And that's Della Rosa. He's pit immediately. Is Della Rosa going on to the intermediate tyres? Just wait and see. There's Villeneuve into the pits as well. Maybe it's raining quite heavily now. Is it time for intermediates? He is switching onto the wet compound tyre, intermediate wets. Is Villeneuve doing the same? He is. So very interesting to see. They're pulling the trigger already. Coulthard has not stopped yet though, so it'd be interesting to see how he performs in relation to these drivers. We're just going to follow these two drivers here between Villeneuve and Coulthard, see who is faster. Looks like Coulthard just is faster for now than the intermediates. So perhaps it was the wrong call to stop early. Just following this. Yeah, it looks like perhaps the tyres are about even just now. You see, that's Frentzen getting another penalty there. Not ideal for his race. Not that it was ever very good anyway. As that's Räikkönen, he's in the pit lane now. So Räikkönen is pit for intermediate tyres. So that leaves Michael Schumacher to do the good work. As we see the imaginary DRS disabled. So has Räikkönen made the right call? Has Schumacher made the right call? Who will be faster here? Can Schumacher get out ahead of Kimi Räikkönen? Just waiting. Schumacher coming down into the final proper corner now. He needs to absolutely nail this final sector here. If he wants to have any hope of getting out ahead of that Sauber of Kimi Räikkönen. And there's Räikkönen coming down into the final corner now. Is Räikkönen going to come out ahead? Schumacher just stopped in his box now. Coming out there. Is Räikkönen ahead of Schumacher? He's just coming down into the first corner now. There's the two cars. Who's going to come out ahead? Is it Schumacher or is it Räikkönen? It looks to be Kimi Räikkönen just for now. And Räikkönen is ahead. So the gamble didn't work for Michael Schumacher. Staying out one lap extra was not the right call. And he's lost about 0.7 of a second to Kimi Räikkönen. Whether that was just a bad lap or whether the intermediates were truly faster is not known. But Alonso, Panis and Montoya have all made their stops now. But they'll have lost time to the cars behind, who pitted early. So that's made the race both interesting and less interesting at the same time, as it's strung the cars out a little bit more. But yeah, it was very interesting to see those pit stop battles. Every driver has now made the 2 mandatory pit stops. At least all the drivers that are still running. So very interesting to see that. Can Schumacher gain on Räikkönen though? This is the question. We've got about 6 laps to go here in the Brazilian Grand Prix. Can Schumacher beat him? We'll just have to wait and see on that one. Coming down through turn 4 now. He's not gaining. He's actually losing time to the Finn here. Of course, we've still got time to play for this race to play out. But I'd hazard a guess here and say Räikkönen looking on course. Don't want to commentators curse it. But Räikkönen looking likely to take the checkered flag and win here in Sao Paulo. It would be a very, very impressive performance for the Finn if he was able to do that. But the closest battle on track right now is between Juan Pablo Montoya and Olivier Panis. Of course, Panis does have penalties to serve after the race, so that I'd hazard a guess and say that Montoya is going to be finishing ahead of Panis, but nevertheless, he will still want to get ahead of the BAR driver. So just waiting on that battle. It is brewing, and Montoya is catching fast on Panis. So we'll just have to wait and see. Oh, but Montoya's got a penalty now for track limits violations. That's not ideal for his race. So that means now that Montoya will have to overtake Panis on track. Of course, we don't actually know whether how much penalty Panis has got, whether it's just 1 3-second one or more. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. We've got 5 laps to go in this Brazilian Grand Prix. It's been a very thrilling race, I must say, between the drivers. The points as it stands, 10 points will be going to Kimi Raikkonen for winning the race. Then it will be 6 for Michael Schumacher. 4 points would go to Fernando Alonso on the podium there. Then it will be 3 points to Olivier Panis, 2 points to Juan Pablo Montoya, and 1 point to Pedro Della Rosa. Outside the points are Jacques Villeneuve, David Coulthard, and Heinz Harald Frentzen, suffering from, dare I say it, a skill issue there. About a minute behind the next car. In fact, over a minute behind the next car. I think he's a lap down, actually, on the next car. So, not ideal for his race. But we still got a couple things to play out. Would I compare this to be better than the 2000 Brazilian Grand Prix? I don't know, because I wasn't there. But from what of the clips I have seen, it does look more exciting than that one. But I cannot confirm that for you. As Frentzen picks up yet another penalty for track limits violations. Not great for him. Yeah, not ideal for him, in fact. So, not great, yeah. So here's Raikkonen, who leads from Michael Schumacher. We've got 3 laps to go here in this race. So we'll just have to wait and see. Michael Schumacher is about 3 seconds back on Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen looking pretty unstoppable right now. Closest battle on track between Montoya and Panis. But with only a couple laps to go, I don't think anything will be becoming of that. But we will have to wait and see. And Montoya's gone off the track there, and he's got a penalty for corner cutting the track there. Not ideal for his race. That could lose him 5th position And he's out of the race now. Montoya's out. And Montoya, after getting frustrated at the race there, has almost taken Olivier Panis out there. Not sure how to feel about that. Perhaps it was brake failure, in fact. If I want to give credit to a driver and not say they have a skill issue all the time, I'd say it's a brake failure, in fact. So, not ideal for his race. In fact, it's the worst thing that could happen to his race. He is out of it now. But it is the final lap of the race now. Raikkonen leading comfortably from Michael Schumacher. Alonso still on course for a podium. De La Rosa up to 4th now for Jaguar. Panis is 5th. And then Villeneuve is now in the points. And good recovery from both BARs there. And Coulthard is in 7th. And Heinzel Frentzen occupying the last classified spot. Sorry. I've been very bad at commentating today. I do apologise massively. I'm not quite in the rhythm of things. Hopefully we'll be back better for next race. Of course, 1 week's time. I have to just check where the next round is. I believe it is in Monaco. It is. And of course, 3 rounds to go in this race after this one. We've got Monaco, Italy, and then Japan. But we'll look back to this race. Raikkonen coming around the final couple of corners. He's led this race almost from start to finish, taking the lead from Michael Schumacher at the start. Kimi Raikkonen crosses the line. He wins the Brazilian Grand Prix of 2001. That is very impressive from him. Michael Schumacher gets 2nd place here. Fernando Alonso on the podium once again. And Minardi on the podium as well. That's very, very happy to see them up there. De La Rosa now. He's coming across the line to finish in 4th place. Just have to wait to see how penalties are applied. But it does look to be 4th place for the Jaguar. Next is Olivier Panis. He comes across the line in 5th, but he does have penalties, so we'll have to see. Villeneuve gets 5th. So Villeneuve up to 5th, Panis in 6th position. So you've got to be happy for Kimi Raikkonen. He's just won a race. Very impressive from the Finn there. Ignore the driver of the day on screen. Well, that will be decided in the F1 Retro League Discord after the race. But very good for him. And good for Schumacher's championship hopes, I guess. And managing to get 2nd place there. Good for him. Seeing Raikkonen come out onto the podium there. You got to be happy for him. Just wonderful to see that. The Minardi crew, sorry, not the Minardi crew, the Sauber crew smiling there. Just so nice to see that. Schumacher 2nd there. Very good from the reigning world champion. And well done to Fernando Alonso. Managing to get 3rd place in that Minardi. Just absolutely amazing from him. But nevertheless, we'll be back in a week's time with the Monaco Grand Prix, the jewel in the Formula 1 crown. Yeah, we'll see you next time for the Monaco Grand Prix. I've been your host, Thomas Wood. This has been the Formula 1 Retro League. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.